Hey everybody.
Hi there.
We are here to talk about mistakes and things that we've learned through the years of life.
All the do-overs, we wish we could just rewind and
gosh.
start again.
It's painful to think about sometimes.
Yes. But there's always a lesson learned, and if you can take those moving forward, you've got a lot of positive to gain from that. So sometimes that hard in the moment is really well worth it in the long run.
So in your real estate journey, what would you guys do over again?
So for us, I know we had built a home. It was a great first home. We were fortunate enough to build our very first home, sold it and had income from it, and ended up buying a lot that we were planning on building on. It seemed like a great idea. It was like our dream, and it didn't work out exactly the way we wanted to. And purchasing on a lot and dealing with the permits in the city and all those other pieces that we didn't really do research on ahead of time. We were a little naive on some of that. So picking up the pieces from that and moving forward, and then just saying, okay, and this was almost 12 years ago. So it still stings a little, it always sits with you. But I think that we took from that of what do we really want and how we're gonna use what we have now to propel us forward. So it was definitely a learning experience. I would definitely say if we were a little bit more educated, if we'd taken some more time to ask more questions, to get more advice, we could be in a different situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a similar situation with a lot. We thought we were gonna build this dream home, and it's literally on the bayfront in Florida, gorgeous 65 feet of private beach. And then the housing crash happened, and then the Gulf oil spill happened, and it still hasn't come back to its value. So nobody would buy this thing. And even though it's still a beautiful lot, I personally, fortunately, I think it's gonna be like La Jolla. Like, you know, everybody wishes they had bought a property in La Jolla 40 years ago, right? A lot. But in the meantime, I'm paying month after month still on this mortgage. We only have a little bit to go. It's felt a little bit like a money pit for sure. But if I had done it all over again, I would not buy a lot, especially before a recession. So anyway, so that's my do-over.
We were talking about this, and you know, similar. We had owned a condo that we chose to sell in order to buy our home now. And hindsight, and that's where we talked about getting more information, having different perspectives on things. We should have held that property. It would have been a great rental property. We didn't need it to purchase our next property. So hindsight, I wish we would have held it. It's appreciated in value. We could have easily rented a cash flow on that property. I think I was scared and didn't have enough outside perspective to say, here's something else you could do, here's how you could look at it. And I think also too, I don't know if we had our long-term vision yet. We were in the short-term mindset of, we're gonna buy our forever home, and we're gonna have more income in our pocket to do the things we want in our life versus let's just make a couple years of sacrifice to have this other amazing property and long-term wealth on it.
Well, and that long-term vision, I mean, the reality is most people only stay in their home for like 4 years, maybe 7. So nothing is forever. I hate to be that way.
Yeah. And we do talk about the power of time with your money and how important that really is. And we kind of lose sight of that, I think, sometimes when we're in the transaction of purchasing and wanting to own more property. So I think that thinking long-term, if you can allow yourself to move out a little bit and not think of right now.
Right. We talked about this in San Diego. It's, you know, you don't cash flow immediately on properties. On average, we estimate it takes 3.2 years before you break even between the mortgage payment and like local rents. And in the meantime, you know, you're paying $100, $200 over your BAH, and that can be a little painful short term. But then the rents just keep going up. You go out and rent it, and but your mortgage payment stays the same.
That's the thing, is looking at it as an investment, not an expense, because just like the TSP, is you're putting money aside for a long-term return. And so saying, okay, yes, it's a little painful right now. There's this $300 gap right now between my rent or between what the renters are paying and what I'm paying on the mortgage. But the mortgage will stay flat and the rent will continue to rise. You will break even and then profit on it. It's just that long-term vision.
And we've seen that time and time again with our clients. And if you can, you know, but again, it's that education up front of knowing you're gonna purchase this property and this is a long-term investment for you, if that's what you're looking for.
So keep talking to people and learn from mistakes.
Yes.
And don't be afraid to make your own. I think that's the other piece is so many people say, oh my gosh, I don't want to make a mistake. You learn by failing faster.
Absolutely.
And it's just, you're gonna grow, you're gonna have more opportunity because you took that risk. So,
Absolutely.
all right,
Thank you.